Hey, we've had an awful lot of rain lately and it's blown out a number of the rivers. And they've gotten rather high and dirty, and although I usually enjoy fishing in those type of conditions, sometimes it can be a little bit treacherous, and sometimes it's good to leave those systems alone until they settle down just a little bit. So today I'm on a small stillwater and I'm going to see what I can find in the way of trout that are feeding around here. So let's see what we can get. Now, as I'm approaching this still water, first thing I want to do is I want to cover from the bank as much as I can and see if there's any fish sitting really shallow. All right, I'm only going to probably cover out going about 40 or 50 feet. It's probably only about 2 feet deep out to about that distance right now. I want to cover the shoreline first within the range of the camera so you can see me. Cover that area first before I start working my way further out. The reason for doing that is because I want to catch any fish that are there, catch them before I spook them by walking in there. And you never know if fish are going to be sitting shallow or if they're going to be sitting out deeper. So I'm going to keep my cast pretty short right now. The thing is, the water's got, relatively low clarity. It's probably, it's a good foot of visibility, but a foot isn't all that much when you're fishing a small still water or something like that. That means I can't see those fish if they're sitting out there, and they can't see me as well either. So they're going to be a little bit more bold. They might come into the shallows a little bit more, just because they feel a little bit safer with the cloudy water. I'm just going to fan cast the area. I'm only casting about 30 feet right now, maybe 40. I'm going to work my way out further soon though, some longer casts. My fly's probably about 50 feet out there, probably about knee-deep water. And I'm fishing my fly right up to the edge, like almost up to the rod tip, maybe 5 feet off the rod tip, because the fish just might follow right up to the shoreline in this cloudy water like this. Like I say, they can be quite bold in these conditions. They're not afraid to chase something right into the shallows. Oh, and just like that, except for I lost them. Sometimes when you do hook fish really close to you on a streamer, which is what I'm doing now, you sometimes maybe don't get the best hook set. At least that's my excuse right now. But there are fish here, obviously. I may not get them to come back, but I'm just trying to keep my fly off the bottom. Doing short little strips right now. If I don't pick up anything more in a couple of casts, I'm going to take about 10 steps out further. The cloudy water conditions, I'm not too concerned about really spooking the fish too much, as long as I move cautiously. walk out there like a blue heron or a crane, right? Okay, I'm gonna take a few steps out. Now, I've waded out far enough now that I have to be kind of wary of the fact that there may be fish behind me now, beside me, behind me, or in front of me. So as you're moving out, and if you're being quiet enough, and once you settle into place for 5 minutes or something like that, the fish may start to work their way in behind you if there's something for them to be feeding on. And they may just pretty much just avoid right where you're standing, but they just completely ignore you for the most part. So now you have to be more aware of where the fish are. They could even be behind you. So I'll throw the odd cast in there too. I'm working a mix of retrieves, sometimes short little strips, sometimes longer, slow strips. I'm letting the fly sink down deep, sometimes working it near the surface. The water is anywhere from shin deep to chest deep around here, within my casting range. Just trying to see if I can find where they may be, whether they're sitting right on the bottom or near the top. I've seen a couple move on the surface, so there has to be some up a bit higher. But I don't see much on the surface bringing the fish up, so I think for the most part they're sitting down lower. The water clarity is a little bit low. It's about a foot visibility right now. So if the fish are sitting down deeper, you want to get your fly down deeper too. You want to put it in their zone so they don't have to work as hard to look for it. As I'm fishing a shoreline, it has a very gentle slope going out, and it's not overly deep. What I'm doing is I'm fishing a clear intermediate line today. Some would call it a fast type 2 line, or a fast glass. It goes by a number of names. It's essentially a slow sinking line that'll allow my fly to kind of just slowly get down to about that 3-foot level if I want it to. And just scour the bottom. Or if I work it a little bit faster, I can keep it up right underneath, a couple of inches underneath the surface. Gives me a lot of flexibility of where I want to cover. It's not too fast, it's not too slow. As I'm working way out here further, I want to make sure I'm fan casting everywhere. Same time, keeping my head on a swivel, seeing if I can see fish moving anywhere. I've seen the odd one moving around, a lot of them out of my own casting range though. Sometimes when you're bank fishing like this, there's going to be fish that are going to be too far out for you to reach, so not much you can do about that other than bring in a boat. But I didn't do that today. As I am retrieving my fly, I want to make sure I'm varying it as well until I find if there's something particular that the fish are looking for. Sometimes they're looking for a slow retrieve, sometimes a fast retrieve, sometimes a jerky one. It can all vary. You want to vary your retrieves as you're bringing them in until you start to isolate what it is that they're kind of more tuned into or what's more appealing to them. So far I haven't found a specific retrieve that's worked well other than just a slow, gradual, medium strip retrieve. Ooh, yeah. That stopped me like a ton of bricks. Or a brick wall. Or a freight train. Or whatever you call it. I don't know if it's only that big, but... Oh, that's a nice fish. Yeah. Definitely a couple of pounds. Fortunately, he's kind of swimming behind the camera. That's what happens when you put your tripod in the water. So you can make it closer to you so you can hopefully see the fish better as I'm fighting it. But what happens when the fish goes behind the camera? What would be even worse is if it decides to go in between the tripod legs. Okay. Hasn't brought his head out of the water yet, so this guy isn't quite ready. He's close, but there we go. I think we're gonna have him. Come on, buddy. You're definitely a beauty. He hammered that fly pretty much as it started pulling it off the top. So a little bit of movement. And he took it. Come on. Come on. There we go. Oh, it's a nice fish. Again, let's say maybe about 2.5 pounds. Not quite 50 centimeters. I'd say probably about 45. Definitely a very beautiful fish. And wet. Let's see if I can get a quick picture for you on the camera there. Wow, there we go. Let's get him in the water. Swim back down to the depths. Beautiful. I just made a fly change before I got that fish as well. After covering this section I've been standing in for about 15 minutes and doing some various retrieves and depths. First cast of the new fly, picked up that fish. And that last fish took on a slow retrieve, but he hammered it right at the start. Now, I've been varying between 2 different fly patterns. Every time I move around, I fish one pattern first and I switched over to another one. 2 of my favorite colors to work in this type of water, as you might be able to tell, it's a bit of a murky green color in here right now. My 2 favorite colors to work in this are black and dark olive. I think both those colors stand out the best. And they're both very natural colors for the fish too. But black gives a really good profile and silhouette. And I actually find that matching the fly color to the water color is often a very beneficial thing. So in browner water, I may use a brown or a red pattern. More tannin water, similar type of water, again brown, maybe black. More greener water like this, I'll definitely go to more of a greener pattern or a black pattern. Sometimes I'll vary the color of the bead as well. Sometimes I'll use a hot orange, fluorescent orange bead. Sometimes I'll use a gold bead, silver bead. There we go. Partway through the retrieve. Nice little trout. 30 to 35 centimeters in that range. Nice bright and silver. Come on, back over this way. Just head out of the water here, and he's still not quite ready. Doing a lot of pulling. Not burning his energy too fast. All right, now he's about ready. False. It's going for the camera. Did I say he was about ready? I was quite wrong. All right, rambunctious fish. Those are the ones you worry about landing sometimes, are the ones that are rambunctious right at your feet. Because your rod angle is not the best to fight the fish. Yeah, it's a beautiful fish. Actually, yeah, he's well over 35 centimeters, I would say. Nice wild trout. Oh, yeah. Yeah, see him right here? Beautiful fish. Just get him back in there. Oh, thank you very much, fish. Thank you. See if we can get another one. So far I've been having success repositioning myself down the shoreline. Now that I've kind of determined that the fish seem to be mostly in the waist deep water, maybe a little bit deeper, sometimes up to about thigh depth. I've kind of positioned myself right around that range, just off of it a little bit so I can cast into it. And I've just moved down the shoreline in stages, changing flies, mixing up my retrieves, stuff like that, seeing whatever I can do to get just one more fish as I go. Let's see if I can pull another one out here though. Important, I'm fan casting as I go. I'm working my way all across the spectrum. And then sometimes that means casting behind me as well. So I never know if the fish are going to move into that water behind me where it's maybe about 2 feet deep or so, or less. So I want to make sure I cover that water as well. As the day goes on, because the water is fairly cloudy right now, they may move more into the shallower water if there's feed form there. Fish on right off the start. Nice. Feels like a good one. I love it when those fish take a fly right on the drop. Rod angle low. Feels like a decent fish. Oh yeah. Definitely not panicking, but he is jumping. That's good. Beautiful fish. It's a little bit more tired out. Oh, nice fish. Jumping behind the camera. There we go. Nice. Yeah. Get the hook out of them. Go back into the water. I'd say that fish is a good 2 pounds. Maybe a bit better. Hard to say, but I'm not going to bother with measuring, but so we can get him in there and back out into the water. Look at that beautiful color.